All right. Am I muted?
No, you are not muted, but you're a little staggered. We are live. A little frozen.
No, I'm
here.
not muted, so maybe. Can you hear me? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna move. I was outside. You know what? Let's try this.
This is the beauty of live podcasting.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I couldn't really hear. So let me just get a light on here. So we are good to go. And it would help if, nope, something went out here. Oh, I think we've been having power surges. So hold on. Let me go over here. We'll do this. There we go. Bright light. Back in my office. See, I tried to do something different for St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone, to all our viewers. I thought it'd be cool to be outside. Then I go in the kitchen and, power outage here and there. So anyways, good morning, everyone. It is Friday. And we know what today is. I'm wearing my green. Are you? It is St. Patty's Day. So happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. It's Fantabulous Friday. Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live with
TwoSistas. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. Yes, St. Patty's Day. And as we woke up this morning, Gary has Gala-palooza on Friday mornings with his buddies. And, and I thought, wait a minute, it's St. Patty's Day. It's a Friday. You can't eat meat. So don't forget, you can't eat meat. And then I thought, isn't that a shame? Those who are devout Christians, Catholic, that really is into the spirit, obviously, of this season, can't have your corned beef today. Sorry.
That is true. However, now most people still practice it that way because that's how we were brought up. Mm-hmm. But the Vatican, pre-Vatican II, I believe it is, did eradicate that the only religious firm piece to giving up the meat on Friday is Good Friday. A lot of people don't realize that. But for the most part, there are a lot of churches, parishes across the United States and the world that still practice every Friday during Lent, no meat. But they actually did change that years ago. But I don't think a lot of people know about that. And it's kind of, again, we talk about forming good habits when we're young, and habits only occur with repetition. So for those that are cradle Catholic, especially, that's what you were brought up with, that you never, during Lent, you never ate meat on Friday, and that you fasted on Good Friday. Now, with so many intermittent fasters, they will actually fast every Friday during Lent and try to do a 24-hour fast, which I've done. I think I've done 2 22-hour fasts. So not quite 24 hours, but I'm also mindful of going back to the habits that we learned as children, because that's what's wrapped in my brain, to not eat meat on Friday.
Oh, and the other, excuse me, the other funny thing was, obviously when Dad was alive, when he was living with Gary and I, on Sundays, he said that we had the day off from, like, we could during Lent and, eat whatever we wanted to, like whatever we gave up. And I'm like, I don't recall that. And he said,
I don't recall that too. I think that's something he came up with.
I think that is something that he came up with, because Gary brought that up to me last Sunday. And he says, oh, we can have anything we want to today. And I said, no. He said, Poppy said.
That's true. He did do that. And he did that in his later years. And, God bless him. He followed, he was a rule enforcer. Whatever it says, we do. So for him to bend the rules as he aged was it was cute. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. It certainly was.
And speaking of breaking the rules, that's part of, what I call the healthy derailment mindset, off the chart, off the record, off the journey. You got to kind of rope it back in. And it does happen. So again, it's, I look at Lent as one of those, a lot of people don't truly grasp the spirit of what Lent is really all about. It's about transformation. It's about, how our Lord struggled. And I don't think it's meant to make someone feel like they have to struggle in the whole concept of giving something up. It's more about the deed of sacrifice. So if you take an action, whatever that action may be, not just even necessarily during Lent, but you commit to it, are you truly committed to the sacrifice? Because commitment is a sacrifice. You know, it could be something where you are sacrificing, you know, that I'm not going to eat this specific thing because I'm going to really show how strong I am that I can give it up. Other pieces of sacrifice could be a mindset. You know, do I have patience? Do I have kindness? Am I practicing, not just talking my faith or my health journey or my lifestyle or what I'm passionate about? Am I really living it by action? And we know, we talk about that all the time. In order to get the action to kind of sink in, absorb, and follow through, that takes habit changing. And I think sometimes when we go through a period such as Lent, at least most Christians, is you're really trying hard to stick to it. Think of how long Lent is. Think about how many days Lent is, and it goes inside with really the whole mindset and body of action, trying to take on something new to form that habit. And we know that habits take a certain amount of weeks to really start to stick. So I think there's something said about why we do it. You know, there's, I always say that there's things out there that we do in our lives, in our health, in our wellness, in our mindset. And it has to do with numbers to recreate, rewire. And I don't want to use the word reprogram, but we do have to reprogram our habits. And that's the only way we're successful in anything, whether it's taking on something that we're giving up for Lent. I also look at Lent as not just giving something up. I think of it as transformation of the heart, transformation of the mind, to understand and to sacrifice, maybe looking outside the box. Even our mindset can be transferred if we are transformed, I should say, if we really, again, change the habit. Are you a person that wakes up miserable every day? And I actually it really came to light yesterday. I ran into someone who was sitting in either 14B or 14C, no, 15, because they were behind me. So I was taken off from Hartford, Breeze Airways. And I love it that I'm always open to learning something new. So apparently when a flight is going out, they frequently change the oil, which would make sense. I mean, it's going, revving up the engine X amount of miles per hour, whatnot, doing a trip. And what happened is they changed the oil. So in Hartford, it was very cold. So they ended up doing it in the morning, early in the morning. They're supposed to do it, I think, the night before, and that didn't occur. So we were supposed to take off at 8 a.m. That didn't occur, although we were boarded and on the plane probably about 8:10. So the pilot immediately came on, welcomed everyone with a funny joke. He says, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Breeze Airways, where we're traveling to, Cancun with a stop in Aruba." And he was, being playful. And he goes, and everyone's laughing and giggling. He said, "No kidding." He said, "I just want to apologize. We were really hoping to take off on time." He explained the situation with the oil. And he says, because they were delayed in doing it, we didn't get to do our final checks of the plane. Safety first, right? So when you hear that someone has to do a check, we're not talking about, a piece of paper that we're going to do a checklist on. We're talking about a flying machine, airplane, that needs a full system check. So right off the bat, it's not going to be a 5-minute thing. So right before that occurred, this couple comes on board, and he was already, you just, when you look at someone and they're just grumpy. And so he had that grumpy look, and they sit behind me, and the F-bombs start flying because he was very upset that the seat was in the straight up position, which anyone that flies, basic flying 101, your seat has to be in the sit up position all the way up for takeoff and landing. But of course, once you get to that, once you've already taken off, hit the recliner button and you can recline. So he was just going, he goes, I am not going to sit in this seat for 3.5 hours, which is actually 2 hours and 18 minutes, in this position. And he just would not let up. He just, like kicking the seat, like acting like a child. So I kindly turned around and said, maybe you don't realize there is a recliner button. And I explained the situation. You only have to sit upright just for the takeoff and landing. You'll be fine once you get in there. Just hit that button. And I thought, okay, being kind, passing some good information on. Maybe that'll calm this person down. Well, then it was, he's just like, what kind of airlines is this? Why are we waiting? And he was not listening to the pilot at all. He called the pilot for a few choice words. He said, this is BS. They was just going on and on and on. And I had this cute little woman sitting next to me. She goes, my, is he, really feisty this morning? And I said, well, some people just don't always wake up on the right side of the bed. So again, trying to put those positive vibes out there. He just wouldn't stop. So then obviously I knew when he said full system check, it wasn't going to be 10 minutes. It's probably going to be a good half hour to 40 minutes. And he explained it. You're going to see the lights going on. You're going to see the air conditioning going on. You've got all these things going on. Don't be alarmed, but we've got to do this. Normally we do this before you're even on board, but we're trying to expedite it as soon as we can. And once we're done, we didn't want to wait then for the boarding process. We wanted to just get on, get going. So I understood his rationale. Most people did. Most people were very patient. So, as time goes on, he's just like, this is ridiculous. He said it was going to be a couple minutes, which of course the pilot never said that. And he would not stop. So this went on for the entire time. We finally take off. He was, arguing about something else. And again, just not a happy person. So I kind of blocked out the noise. Long story short, flight goes in, we get in a little bit later, not a big deal, maybe about an hour and 10 minutes later. So again, there's protocols when you fly. The rows in front of you get out first, you allow them to get their bags down. Now, in this case, with this particular Airbus, they call it an airplane, my carry-on luggage, besides my personal item that was under the seat, was 2 seats in front of me because the row that I was in had all the emergency supplies. So you couldn't put your suitcase in there. The ones in front of me, directly in front of me, the spaces were already taken. So the flight attendant, sweetheart, said, no, we'll put it up 2 up. No problem. So I got my personal item from under the seat. So now I'm, clear to go. It's my row. So I go 2 rows up to in the process of opening, it was already open, but pull my carry-on off the very top. And the couple behind me literally plows into me. We got to get by. And they pushed me, literally pushed me. I almost fall into the seat. Right before that happens, I said, excuse me, it's polite. You just wait for the person to grab their bag. And we got to get off. And they were just, that's still that miserable selves that they were, and push me. Now, again, I didn't get hurt, nothing like that. Sadly, a few things fell out of my bag and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm apologizing to the people behind me. And they're like, no, it's okay. They were so rude. And they rushed off, in their way. And only because, it's Vero Beach. You're going to a smaller airport. We have 1 gate. They rushed off in such a hurry to get their bags that they now had to wait for. So I endured a lot of nonsense from this crazy couple. And I thought there's 2 ways, I can be sweet as pie or I could be polite but firm. So I get off the plane and there they are, huffing and puffing and the miserable look on their face. I said, so with all the anger, with all your swearing, with all your mean spirit and what you just did, and now you're waiting, how'd that work out for you? And I walked away.
I understand with the traveling thing, we've all been in situations where who really likes to wait? Oh, I love to wait. No, we don't. But there's a thing called patience. There's a thing called common courtesy. And just take a deep breath. And, it's unfortunate that that happened, but I think you handled it very eloquently.
I did swear under my breath. I'm not going to lie. I called him, the a-hole under my breath. Like, and he might have heard me, might not. But at that moment, and I said it politely, and I'm like, asshole, one of those things, because he really truly was an ass. He like you said, pack your patience and kindness. A lot of this stuff is out of our control.
Right. Right. Like, take a deep breath. Like, yeah, it's frustrating now. We gotta wait. Like, what the hell? I get it. Nobody likes to wait, but it's not within your control.
No. So, what I say to somebody like that, I heard a great meme. I read a great meme. I didn't hear it. I read a great meme the other day, and I don't know exactly what it was, but it basically said, when somebody treats you terribly, it's not so much the anger or the hostility or whatever that they're towards you, in the sense of that it's your fault. It's more something internal. And I'm totally butchering what it said. That was the gist of the meaning. And I took to the heart to that, because we talk about that when today is a day that we celebrate our wins. We celebrate, our hard work that we've done all week long, with our, triumphing over our mindset, our Wealth Wellness Wednesday, trending through all these different things, these different pieces to the puzzle of our journey each week. And, you do wonder, you start to scratch your head, like, why is this person so mean or angry? And I think we can all say that we've always been in that position where you feel hurt or sad or even angry, that you've been treated in such a hostile way, would be the word I would describe yesterday. But at the end of the day, his demeanor was, and even his wife's was already, that demeanor was already present, as who they are as people. And so you know that, okay, you're just kind of like the punching bag for their internal anger or sadness or whatever they're going through. So at the end of the day, after, I said what I had to say, and I mumbled that he was an ass, because he was. At the end of the day, I pray for people like that, because I can't imagine being that miserable. Like, there's so many beautiful things about our world. Yeah, there's a lot of stressful things about our world. We're constantly on the move, constantly on the run, constantly stressed, always trying to add more than 24 hours in our day, which, I'm guilty of that. But at the end of the day, we have so many blessings. So, as much as I was not mad at him as a person, more as his behavior, but I don't know. I'm not walking in his shoes. I don't know what his story is and why he's that miserable. So I guess at the end of the day, when you're dealing with somebody like that, you just got to pray for him, because what else are you supposed to do?
Oh, exactly. I mean, and I thought, this goes back to, gosh, a couple of years ago when I was in the grocery store, Big Bertha.
Yes.
We'll get, and I haven't seen her in a couple of years. Well, I was at Stop and Shop, I don't know, a week and a half ago, and I see her with a guy. She's lost some weight. She looks good.
Awesome.
But she still has a big old ass. Well, and that type, talking about, we don't know what people's stories are.
Right.
And there was always so much anger in this person. And I remember saying to myself, just what you were saying, I'm going to say a prayer for her, because yeah, she's very mean-spirited. She's very rude. She's very abrupt, but that's someone that needs someone to put in a good prayer for them.
Right. And I think, we can dance around it, laugh about it, get mad about it, argue about it, whatever. But then does it resolve anything? No. And I go back to, that internal piece to that person that's that, are they celebrating themselves today? Are they actually looking in the mirror? I mean, if I was that, I would feel so bad if I acted that mean to someone. And then, here it is Friday, Fantabulous Friday. And I, always look at myself in the mirror, not just obviously to celebrate our wins on Friday, but also could I have done better? I have an accountability to the reflection in the mirror. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror knowing I was that vicious and that mean to somebody, because who does it serve at the end of the day? Who does it? It's number one, it's a reflection of that person, regardless of what they're going through. And I think people need to realize that your own internal struggles are very real and they have to be validated. But if you're not taking the step forward to get that win, to solve that internal struggle, you're missing the mark on life. You're missing the mark on humanity, and understanding that we do have a responsibility to self-check, kind of do a systems check, not just on the airplane, but within ourselves, on how we can do better. And what is that struggle, that internal struggle that I'm so upset with myself? Am I angry because I fell off the wagon with my lifestyle that I'm working so hard to achieve? Did I, have something so traumatic that happened to me that it's now impacting how I treat other people? And so that tells me, that's like a wake-up call to say, I need to deal with that issue. I need to, like, for once and for all, put that in the graveyard, get rid of it. Write it down, burn it, go seek help, go ask for help. If you don't even know what direction and how to, get rid of all this that you're feeling, this internal anger. So I think more people need to do a self-system check on themselves and say, how can I do better? And if I'm not, let me go ask a question. Let me go ask somebody that I'm connected to. Look at, I'm going to be really real. I feel like shit. I feel like crap. I'm always angry. I have no patience. I'm mean-spirited. I don't want to be that way anymore. Can you help me? Can you help me get in that right direction? And I think a lot of people may think there's a stigma to asking for help, or if they ask for help, that puts them in a vulnerable position, because then they realize there's something really wrong with them. Meaning, when I say something really wrong with them, that work that needs to be done to make them be a better human being. A lot of people don't want to do that, because guess what? That takes accountability. That takes that hard conversation with yourself, the reflection in the mirror. And a lot of people don't want to, they don't want to look. They rather look to other things to blame than look within.
Well, that is so true. I mean, I think we know certain people in our lives that, they're looking in the mirror and perhaps the mirror has cracked, but they can't come to the realization that, what their part may have been in whatever. And, and all I hope for someone like that is, that they have a happy and healthy life and look within themselves, have love for yourself first, because
Right.
that's really where, excuse me, that's really where it starts.
Absolutely. So it is Fantabulous Friday, and we want to make sure that we are celebrating our wins. So I think, I'm celebrating getting out of that plane with not the anticipated frustration that many, I'm not going to lie, it through the actual action of him, like nudging me and, pushing through me, bothered me, because obviously, he's in my space and he physically pushed me, nudged me, whatever you want to call it. I didn't go flying, so I want to make sure, people understand that. But, you're startled when you're not expecting someone to do that. So I was discombobulated, so much so that John had said, oh, I'm waiting at the terminal. But he didn't say I'm waiting at the terminal. Like I parked the car, like I'm in front of the terminal with the car. So I'm like discombobulated from what occurred, a little upset. And I was just like, I look like a lost puppy trying to find my husband. Finally realized, okay, maybe he meant outside of the terminal. Like so you triumph over that. But it's Fantabulous Friday. You still have to find your wins, and what did you triumph over? Did you work harder at something that you never thought you could accomplish? Did you check some of those small stones, those stepping stones to those bigger goals? And we hope you have that conversation in the mirror, because you deserve that. You deserve to pat yourself on the back and say, I did a good job. And, maybe I didn't accomplish everything, but, I took the first step. Those are all wins. Don't you think, Jan?
Oh, absolutely. Celebrate those wins. Those are the stepping stones. And you know what? It's okay to stub your toe every now and then, but you know, keep that keep that momentum going. And you know, journal it out. We always talk about journaling, pen to paper.
Mhm.
There's really, you'd be amazed that when you go back and look at maybe something that you wrote a month ago, a week ago, whatever it is, and say, wow, okay, this is what was happening, but look at what I've achieved. Like, I'm so proud of that. And celebrate.
Exactly. And it's St. Patty's Day. So today's a day to, everyone is Irish on St. Patty's Day, regardless of your heritage. Get your, green drink on. And guess what? It can be a healthy green drink. I'm going to be drinking some Boost today, which is all my greens and my fruits, which is a great way, especially if you can't get all your fruits and veggies in. And that's one of our plus line products with Lavelle. We love that. And it fits because it's green. So I'm going to be drinking some healthy stuff. John is, in full training mode. We are down to, the final countdown to 2023 Pocahontas Classic Pickleball Tournament, which I believe are up to about 506 athletes. So if you could see my office, it's, I got medals, I got stuff in the swag bags. It's a little disorganized when I look around. So it's driving me a little cuckoo, but we're getting there. I'm working on painting the award stands that we had made and getting those all organized. So a lot of stuff's going on. So St. Patty's Day is a day to have a little fun. Don't overdo it. But yes, have your green shamrock specialty drink that you want. I always carry, I'm not going to be drinking my Boost. I do carry a green dye with me. And most people that know me know that I always have some sort of green beverage. Healthy, always. Yeah, I even have my Boost, a teeny bit of little Cheetos in it. But, get your shamrock on. However you get it on. It doesn't, again, it could be a nice healthy drink. Heck, it could be a bottle of water with some green dye in it. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And on that note, of course, we need to come up with a question of the day.
Question of the day. How do you get your green on?
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get your green on?
I've shared mine. I'm going to have some Boost.
Well,
and I probably will put a little dye in my. Oh, the thing about the dye, for those that do like me, be careful how much dye you put into your. I always go back to the story years ago, and I want to say, gosh, probably 30 years ago at least. Nancy and I went out, and of course we were drinking some light beer because we're not real big beer drinkers anymore. And so I kept putting the dye in. And so the next day she said, how much dye did you put in? Like the whole week. She said, I just got green coming out of it. So be careful how much dye you put into your beverage. That's all.
And of course, we will be on tomorrow, Sailing Saturday, celebrating our 600th episode. We're technically not at 600 yet. We're a few away, but we are going to celebrate, and we have an amazing lineup for you. It's an all-woman star cast tomorrow. Very small, but very mighty. So, excuse me, we're really excited about that. We will be on at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So, come and join the fun on the TwoSistas Facebook page. And for now, happy St. Patty's Day, Fantabulous Friday, celebrate those wins. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm with
TwoSistas, and this is Carol through aka Naughty Boss, going to get her green on. We hope you do have a safe, happy, and health. Hydrate. Shamrock Day. Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for our 600th episode
celebration.
about to be. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.